What's up, guys? It's your boy TPP, and I'm back with that true crime talk live, baby. Let's go. All right, guys. Third round, baby. Third round. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for joining for the third round today. Yeah, man. Before we jump into it, we're gonna cover the Kohberger hearing from today. About cameras in the courtroom. I want to cover it with y'all and kick my opinions, your opinions around. But before we jump into that, if you could smash the like, smash the share, and if you're new here, smash that subscribe. I'd appreciate it. All right, guys. All right, let's see. First of all, though, let's do this as well before we get into the video, and then we're going to review the hearing from the straight out the courtroom. Let's go ahead, and I want to share that picture before we hear anything about the hearing and the demon that took these beautiful souls off this planet. Just a little moment of memory, a little moment of silence. What's up, Rooster Cakes? What's up, brother? Hi, Hindsight. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Decided to fit a third one in for the day. Plus, man, I watched most of this hearing from today, and it was like, man, I gotta cover it. I gotta give my opinion on some of it. So instead of dropping it as a premiere or a video, I figured, hey, might as well go live. That way I can see you guys, chat with you guys and whatnot. So, but it is definitely good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. So you guys have a wonderful day. What do I think about Moscow losing the corner street board? Dude. Oh. All right, you can't get me sidetracked, Rooster Cakes. You can't get me sidetracked, bro. We ain't gonna get into everything today, but we're gonna get into this hearing. But we're definitely gonna get into other stuff that what you just brought up. Yes, we'll definitely be getting into that in another live. I want to get into some more details every day, a little bit maybe every day. We'll deep dive some stuff, but oh man, that was a trick question, man. You're trying to take me 4-wheel driving like bad, dude. I'll get off topic. It'll get bad. What's up, BM Turtle Madness? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, guys. So, I think we'll go ahead and just jump into the hearing now. Because if I if I get into that question, Rooster, if I get into that question, we'll never get to the hearing. You know what I mean? And that's the whole purpose for this live. I want to go over the hearing, chop it up, tell you what I think, hear what you guys think, and then maybe tomorrow we'll get into that stuff. Hit me up on Discord and tell me the topics you want to hit on this. Tell me because I know you got some stuff to say about this. So shoot me a couple of bullet points you want to cover tomorrow or the next day, and I'll work it out. Right on. All right, guys. Let's jump into this this hearing. I got it queued up and everything, so let's get it rolling. You guys know what's up. Give me a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear it. Yeah, let's do this.
All right. Thank you very much. Please be seated. All right. Well, good afternoon.
Thank you, BM. I see that one. Thank you.
Please.
Hey, before we get into this real quick, I got a question, guys. Because this is the first time I'm doing a live on Lido 4. Usually I'm just doing videos and dropping them, and some people leave comments, some don't. What do you guys think about the judge in this trial? What do you guys think about the judge so far? You guys have confidence in this judge? You know what I mean? Wish I had my favorite judge, Judge Newman, but he's not doing stuff like this no more. and, you know, obviously wrong state as well. But we'll see what this judge is mad out of. So far, I haven't seen enough to really have a full judgment. But I mean, what do y'all think?
Thank you. We are now on the record. Stop.
I'm Miss Polly Waffle. Good to see you, ma'am.
Only on your computer.
Hey, little mama. Good to see you.
I'm moving around. No, I disappeared.
Smash that like, y'all. Let me know what number y'all. No comment, Via. No comment on the judge yet. Yeah, I'm neutral. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see. If he rules in favor of video cameras, then, you know, that'll win some points for me.
Can you hear me? Ms. Beatty, Mr. Nye?
Roger Land, good to see you, brother. I'm glad you could make it.
Yes. Ms. Massa?
So you think so far the judge seems okay?
Excellent.
Yeah, I can't say I dislike him or anything yet.
We are now on the record. This is State of Idaho versus Bryan Kohberger, CR 2922-2805. Mr. Kohberger is in the court with counsel, Mr. Logsdon and Ms. Taylor.
Hey, Don Michelle, good to see you, ma'am.
Participating or observing from Zoom or through Zoom. The state is represented by
so far.
Mr.
Thompson, I agree.
And Mr. Rudley, also who are in the courtroom, and Mr. Nye and Ms. Beatty are observing through Zoom. We also have Ms. Olson and Mr. Carone representing the Media Coalition, and Ms. Towler is the court reporter. So welcome back, everybody. And I think what we need to do is first address the motion to intervene. So, Ms. Olson, is that for you?
Good to see you, Steph V. Ms. Huntress, good to see you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your Honor, as with the motion that proposed interveners filed before the court, we seek to intervene for the limited purpose of opposing the defendant's motion to remove cameras from the courtroom. It's our position that the proposed interveners are the ones who are most affected by that particular motion.
And before we get any farther than this, can you believe like their whole basis of the whole argument is a crotch shot? Are you serious right now? I couldn't believe that. I was like, for real, they're really going to use a crotch shot. I digress, guys. I'm sorry. It just when I saw that, I was like, really? For real? A crotch shot? Come on, it's social media. Of course somebody's going to clip something like that. Get out of here.
And in light of the court having asked us, essentially the same group of interveners, to weigh in on this issue before, we would seek to intervene again just for that limited purpose of opposing removing cameras from the courtroom. I think it's within the court's discretion to do so.
All right, thank you. So I see this. Oh, don't go away. No, I want to talk to you about this because I think that, well, I'm not sure, okay, that this is the same intervention as we had the first round. I think this is a different situation. And I think some of your clients kind of jumped the gun a little bit, thinking that they are interventions or interveners. And I mean, you know, this was filed on August 30, 2023, so we really haven't had a chance to talk about this. And I haven't addressed it in court, as you know. So
real quick, guys, real quick. I'm sorry, you know, I got to stop it every so often. Fair use. I'm probably rolling even too far as it is. But real quick, y'all are 4 cameras in the courtroom, right? Right? Can I get a 1 from everybody in chat if you're for them having the cameras in the courtroom? I am. I definitely am. But give me a 1 if you are. A 2 if you don't want cameras. I want to see where you guys are at. I don't want to have to make a poll. I just want to see where you guys are at. Let's do it the easy way.
And we already started with the merits, okay, before I have approved the intervention. So my issue first is really on the standing, because the first round had something to do with Constitution, state Constitution, U.S. Constitution, and I'm not sure that applies.
I thought it was a mistake.
Under Rule 45, and I think that the Supreme Court, the Idaho Supreme Court, sort of addressed that a little bit in the former motion for mandamus. So, you want to address that, the standing issue first?
Sure.
Yeah, I think this is where she's going to address the cross shot. I think this is where it goes down. This is epic, right? I mean, his defense team's going to use anything, guys. I mean, any angle they can use, they're going to use it. They are. This is going to be one of those, this will be a historical trial. I mean, come on, it's going to land itself, even though they're not considering him a serial killer, it's going to land him in the likes of those type of people. We all know this. We already look at him like he is one, right? Most of us in chat, matter of fact, most of us in chat probably think that he's done this before. Put a 1 in chat if you think he's already unalived somebody before. Put a 2 if you think this was his first time. I'm interested to see that too, guys. Hey, back row Becky, good to see you, man. M. Coes, I think this is the first time seeing you here. Good to see you. Welcome. I agree. I agree with manners. Gotta have manners, definitely. Family should have final say. You know what? Honestly, I kind of agree with that. It's like we kind of all, Miss Becky, love it. Let's go. But yeah, the family for sure. The family for sure. I think it should come down to somewhat. They should have a say, definitely. But I mean, us as the people, we have kind of a right to know what's happening. I guess there's no written context in which way we get the information, I guess. But I don't know. We'll get more into that. I just want to see where you guys were at. For real though, I need answers on this one. 1, if you think he has unalived somebody prior to this. 2, if you don't think he has. So 1, has he unalived before? 2, he hasn't. Let me know. Okay, Rod. See, I'm with you, man. I'm in that category. I ain't gonna lie, dude. You guys can be brave. Don't be scared. There's no judgment here. But I think he's done it before, guys. I do. I have a strong feeling that this man has unalived somebody before this. Yeah. Let's see. I know, Rooster. I know you got a whole different theory on this ball game, but we'll definitely get into that in some more of the lives when I can get you up on panel and you can break down your theories. You know what I mean? Because I want you to cover your theories because I think you'll do better. You'll do them justice, brother. Love you too, Miss Becky. You know it too, brother. You know you want to get up here on a panel with me. Don't lie. I know you already got your stuff written out, bro. We're gonna have to set that up for real. We're gonna have to do this panel. All right, guys. I'll get this rolling. I guess that was long enough a break. Fair use.
With respect to the Supreme Court's decision, when we filed the petition in front of it back in January, I think they said that the media has the right and should be able to intervene when there are issues related to First Amendment issues and access issues. And Your Honor, I would submit that, and we understand that ICAR 45 is absolutely the governing piece of law on this. But when we talk about press access to the proceedings, cameras in the courtroom, I would submit, Your Honor, are part of that press access to the proceedings because it's the cameras in the courtroom, it's the ability to have full coverage, it's the ability to have still photographers that provide access to a much greater number of people than even having just the reporters who are going to write things down and post stories after the fact. It allows sort of that broader access that allows people to see sort of firsthand what is happening. And we think that's an important First Amendment right, Your Honor.
Okay, so
That's
she's
a First
for.
Amendment right to have cameras in the courtroom?
No, Your Honor. Press access is absolutely, and public access, I think, is absolutely a First Amendment right.
So the press and the public have full access to this courtroom?
I agree, Your Honor. Having cameras in the courtroom, having still photographers, having live coverage allows that public access to be much greater than it is through just having people having to travel to Moscow, having to come into this particular courtroom, Your Honor.
That has no implication for the United States Constitution or the Idaho Constitution. I just want to clear this issue up in terms of what the standing is.
Your Honor, I respectfully disagree because I think that the First Amendment and the Idaho Constitution both contemplate this right broad access piece of it. And I think there's an argument to be made that having cameras in the courtroom takes a step from that right of public access. And
So like she's for public access and all the rights and whatnot, but she's like basically sounds like she's slowly going towards, but the cameras are a stretch. The cameras are like a step past that, I guess, is what I'm starting to hear. But it's a new age, woman. It's a new age. It is what it is. Deal with it. And like, what are the cameras being in the courtroom gonna affect? How is that gonna affect negatively? Right? How's it gonna affect anything negatively if we all get to see exactly what's happening? Right? Exactly. Not no secondhand information. We get to see exactly what's happening. That way we can make our decisions as the trial's going, what we think, right? Instead of hearing it secondhand from a reporter or, somebody writing a news article, even third hand possibly, right? So the whole narrative could change from what you're hearing in court that day to what you hear after a reporter gets a hold of it. So to me, it's like if you want it to be cleaner and more concise and like no questions asked about the outcome of the trial for the society at large, dude, put the freaking cameras in there. Put the cameras in there. You serious? I can't be the only one.
and makes it more open
Good to see you.
to additional people. So I think there is a First Amendment interest there. It's certainly not as strong as
PFOX, good to see you.
Sort of order to close the proceedings, or no journalist could come into the courtroom. I think that would be a far more significant problem, Your Honor. But I think in terms of First Amendment interests, the broader, and maybe because there's some access already, the First Amendment interests are smaller, but I think there is a First Amendment interest in having broad access to the court proceedings. I think it's also in the interest of the court, Your Honor, to make that access as broad as possible, because we're unfortunately in a day and age where for some people,
what are we doing here?
if you can't see it, you don't believe it, or if you can't see it, it didn't happen. And there's an increasing need for people to see for themselves precisely what's going on inside the courtrooms of this country.
Are there cases that support that?
That support cameras in the courtroom?
No. And that is basically constitutional law.
Well, Your Honor, I would say that the line of cases that we both cited, Estes in Chandler versus Florida, says that there's no prohibition on having cameras not in the courtroom. There is not a case that says flat out, under the First Amendment, there is a right to have cameras in the courtroom.
Okay. Well, I understand that.
Yo, that lady's confusing, man. I get what she was saying, but like, what was she?
Because
Was she for or against it, or?
at this decision that the Idaho Supreme Court made, and it does say that petitioners, meaning you in that case, or your clients, I should say, are correct that Idaho's rules of criminal procedure do not provide a specific mechanism for third parties to intervene in a criminal case. Likewise, the federal rules of criminal procedure do not provide for a motion to intervene in a criminal case brought by the United States. Of course, we know that well. It says, however, both state and federal courts often permit the media to intervene in criminal cases on a limited basis, or at least file a motion as interested parties. in the defense of public access and free speech, including in Idaho. So I think, I mean, we're on the same page on that, and I
No,
understand that.
I think that's what it was. I think that's what it was. I think she's
This
just nervous.
idea of intervention specifically versus as an interested party, because I know in the Daybell case, the media was characterized as interested parties. I'm just not sure that we get all the way to
Quick fair use stop right there. You know, just got to use the stop with fair use. But that's a vetted rooster cakes right there. That's I can vet that. That he's not joking. He lived there. I got to vet that he does. He did. And I've got to look at some of the stuff that he's told me about the place, and the man's got some interesting theories. I can tell you that. Whenever I go to put that live up, guys, and I let you guys know he's going to be in the panel, that will be an interesting live. You want to show up for that one? I guarantee you'll want to show up for that one. Yeah, it'll make you think about some stuff different. That's for sure.
intervention, because historically anyway, my understanding of the rules is intervention means you are really a party in the case. And that gives you significantly more access. I'm thinking about this more as an amicus brief or presentation, because I'm willing to hear it. I'm willing to read the briefs. I think that's important, but I'm not necessarily comfortable going to call it all, or the media coalition, to be interventions. So do you see a difference there?
Your Honor, I understand the difference, the distinction that the court is making. That's why our motion to intervene has always been for a limited purpose. And you know, full candor, this was a difficult one to sort of try to solve procedurally. It's been my experience in Idaho state courts that rules and cases are read very literally, and we couldn't find a rule, so that's why we went to the Supreme Court to begin with, because there wasn't a rule that allowed us to do that. And I think for purposes of the proposed interveners, the media coalition in this case, that being allowed to present its argument to this court, whether it's as interveners for a very limited purpose,
Hey, Miss
and that's
Dumpling.
without a rule.
Good to see you, ma'am.
How you would get into a case. I was trying to liken this to, like, you know, motion to quash a third-party subpoena, but there's a rule that allows you to come in and challenge that. So when there was no rule, we were trying to identify, well, what is the procedural mechanism? And intervention is typically, certainly there's a civil analog, and there's a way to, that's just the analog that we requested from the court before. We think it's consistent with what the Supreme Court said in the case that it decided in April. But if the court does not want to give us intervention status, I remember we had that discussion a little bit last time, and we asked you to sign the order, so in part that would be precedent for us to do this, and you did.
Yeah.
But
Everybody agreed, so I signed it. But now I've thought more deeply.
Yo, somebody get my girl a shot or something before she comes in next time, dude. She is nervous. She's not even breathing. Right? Somebody get her something. Dang, whatever's legal there, get her something. She needs. I'm scared she's gonna pass out, dude. She's not breathing in between words. It's yeah, it's kind of worrisome. Holy goodness.
Got it.
Yeah, and I think, Your Honor, if the court would rather the media coalition appear as interested parties, I mean, that would also serve the media coalition. We'd be happy to present argument just as interested parties, so that there is some entity speaking for continued access to the courtroom.
Okay, and I could even label you as media coalition.
That would be fine with us, I think, Your Honor.
Okay, great. And there is some language, and I don't need to read it now, on page 14 and page 15.
Yo, you know what, guys? Thank goodness for this media coalition that came together, because, I mean, if we didn't have this coalition fighting for the cameras to be in the courtroom, like, no party wants them in there. So it's like we literally have to have an outside party fighting for this. So hats off to all the organizations that are involved in this coalition that put their big, their big network money towards it. Big ups to them, man. Much respect.
That kind of caution going too far with intervention, or what we call it. And I'm trying to clarify this a little bit. I think the Supreme Court is trying to clarify it a bit in criminal cases. And my reading of this is they really don't want the media to just be coming into the middle of criminal cases to, I guess, exercise their concerns.
That's true. We'd be clueless about a lot of stuff on this case, really. I mean, if it wasn't for the media interjecting themselves and, some YouTubers as well.
I don't think the media wants to either, Your Honor. I think both with the initial motion to intervene and the issue that was raised last time about the non-dissemination order, and for this issue with respect to cameras in the courtroom, those are both about sort of fundamental access to the sources of information that this trial, this proceeding are really all about. And so that's, I think, the media doesn't want to have to, they don't have to pay me, Mr. Crump, every time they want to make an argument in court, and we don't think that would be appropriate either. It's just those issues that really fundamentally affect what sources of information they can access in the process of reporting on this floor, Your Honor.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ms. Olson.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'll give you first. Mr. Bradley?
No. Oh, Your Honor.
Yes, if Ms. Olson has to come back and do any more of this arguing in court, bless her heart, man. Bless her heart, but definitely, you know what I mean? Get her a little something for that anxiety next time, guys, for somebody help her out. I thought she was going to fall out. I'm not joking. I was worried.
The state has no objection to either classification of the media for the limited purpose of helping the court decide this issue.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bradley. Okay.
Dang, nothing from the state? I thought the state would have something to say about it, you know what I mean? Something, but dang, okay.
Mr. Austin?
We're not going to object, obviously, to hearing from the media.
Oh, dude, wait up, guys. I can't with this guy. Did you see this guy, the way he got off that chair and strutted up there? I object. What the? I need to have cameras in the courtroom, dude. With a character like this gonna be in trial, I need to see that. Did you? Let's listen to Mr. Clean. All right, let's see what he has to say.
I understand the court's concern, and it's interesting, but and again, so long as I guess they're not filing things willy-nilly and making discovery requests, I'm not terribly concerned about how they're.
Great, thank you. Maybe I'm just being a little nerdy about, the rules and, even the history in Idaho, and also relying on some of the language in the petition for writ of mandamus that the Supreme Court issued on, I guess it was April 24, 2023. So I really think it's more appropriate, and I looked into this to some level, and to serve an amicus brief, but not considered as a party, as an intervention, but sort of a presentation.
Yeah, literally shaky, literally.
Addressing particular issues of interest that are important. No question about that. So that's how I'm going to view this, and I'm going to deny the motion to be for intervention. Why I'm having a hard with that, but however, I will certainly consider the arguments, consider the briefs, and I will consider that while balancing the concerns of both the state and the defendant too. So let's move then to the arguments on cameras in the courtroom, and we'll start with Mr. Kohberger's team, and I believe that's also going to be you, Mr. Logston.
Okay, guys, I gotta prepare myself for this gentleman. Oh, I can tell he's a character. Dude, they have to let us have the cameras, man. They have to. I think this one's gonna be even more intense than the Murdaugh trial. But I said it. Don't come for me. I enjoyed that trial, but I think this one's gonna be way more intense. Like, we have to have those cameras. Like, seriously, come on.
Sure, I don't intend to take a lot of time. We've briefed this. Moreover, we somewhat argued it a few months back. I think our position is that the court, I think, understands our concerns about turning this into a spectacle, the way that that may prejudice the public against our client, the way in which that dehumanizes people, constellation, and turn this into more of a TV show drama than a court proceeding, which is what it is. And I think everyone understands that. Our concern is that since that time, it doesn't seem like much has changed. The media's argument, as far as I can understand it, is that the cameramen that are here are doing their jobs well. There are editors for various organizations, or people on social media that take those images and then do things with them that we may not like. And that if the court removes the cameras, presumably those people will just use older images, and we want to perfect things all very far. Our position,
everybody's welcome here.
Cameras, does two things. One, it stops new images, and I don't think we can underestimate the power of novelty when it comes to what the public is interested in. Use of old pictures becomes ho-hum. There's a reason why we live in a world of memes where people are constantly trading around pictures. They quickly get old. There's a new one. It seems like every day there's hundreds of brand new images. So the concept of removing this sort of almost sideshow from what's being put out there, we think would be an important way to kind of take away the sensationalization of this case and just.
Bro, that's so cap. That is so cap, man. It's gonna to not have the cameras there would take away from the sensationalization of this. What the dude? You leave everybody in a state of mystery where they're having to get their information second and third hand out of the freaking courtroom. Bro, that's gonna make people lose their damn mind. It's gonna make it even worse. You're gonna have bigger crowds waiting outside the freaking courtroom every day. Like, you're gonna have just it's gonna be way worse. Come on, right, guys? I mean, this guy.
Hopefully, the words on the page. And if they're using old photos, etc., you can't stop them. We just don't see that as being an issue, as a constant stream of new images that are being manipulated, etc., to make viral content, what have you. Our secondary point is just that we don't like where the camera is currently sitting, because it looks like where I'm sitting and my laptop. I got one of these fun screens so that if you look at it from the side, you can't quite see what I'm doing anymore. But it's a distraction for us because we feel like essentially there's a camera right over our shoulder, and we certainly understand they're not zooming in on what we're doing.
Right, Roger Lynn? Like, it ain't good. It can't get any worse. It can't get any worse. Like, come on, man. How's it gonna affect anything? Nice to have you here, Heavy Metal. Heavy Metal Rehab. I like the name. Heavy Metal Rehab. Like it. Welcome.
But I think we've already seen that once they make these images and they pass them around, I mean, they'll all make cameras, and somebody else could presumably do that. And so that causes us quite a bit of concern as well. So if the court decides that removal of the camera isn't necessary. We do have, I think, a bigger concern of just making sure that they're set someplace where we don't have images that are really just what we're working on during the case. And I don't really have much else to report unless there is questions.
Did he really say that? Like, for real? How many trials have you guys watched where like the media actually like tries to like focus in on their papers and what they got going on? It's like, yeah, they get the, you know, the facial shots and all that, but you ain't trying to sit there and creep on what you got going on your notepads. Are you for real right now? Crazy, man. I mean, if you're gonna come with a good argument, man, at least impress me with it. At least come with the argument that makes me question if I'm wrong. You know what I mean? That's a good lawyer. That's how I judge my lawyers, right? Is if a lawyer can make an argument and it goes against what I feel, right? It goes exactly against what I feel, but it almost convinces me. That's when I know, okay, this guy's good. This guy's good. But that didn't convince me. That's weak. That's not going to convince me, guy.
I have one comment or question, because in one of your briefs, I know I've had two sequences of briefs because we had this earlier, but this was a newer one where you were saying, well, this is a quote, were it only the kind of cameras used to show the workings on the House floor on C-SPAN.
I may be showing my age. They might have better cameras now, but when I was
I'm sure
younger, it was just this camera like way over there.
Yeah, well, that's the point. I mean, I made me think about that, is just plant a camera up there. If everybody can just see what's happening from the back of the courtroom, maybe that can satisfy everybody just partly.
That was kind of my idea, Judge. That was my suggestion. And I feel like somebody's going to throw a tomato at me, but that, I thought.
Heavy Metal Rehab. We're going to actually cover that. After this, we cover this. I have a clip that we're going to cover that as well. And I'm with you. I was actually for it regardless, but definitely way for it, not for the families.
Might be a way to kind of give a little and just kind of protect what we're trying to protect.
I've never seen anything very sensational on C-SPAN.
That's literally what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Although Newt Gingrich got pretty close.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, are we going to Mr. Rudley now?
All right, guys. I need the verdict on that. One for that was a good argument. 2 for that was booty. 1 for he convinced you. 2 for he didn't convince you. I want to know what you guys are thinking.
Ms. Olson gets at the end of that, and then I'll go back to the parties. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. As we previously discussed, the decision of whether to allow cameras in the courtroom is discretionary for the court. The state outlined our concerns with allowing cameras in our responsive brief and in our June 6th briefing. Primarily, those concerns are preserving the right to a fair and impartial trial for all the parties, protecting sensitive witnesses who will testify at hearings and trial in this case, and safeguarding.
See, I agree with you, Don Michelle, on that. I definitely do, because it's like, if they can at least spin the narrative for what the community that at large sees, if there's like a mistrial, they have to retry it, and they can get a jury back up there that heard a different narrative during the first trial, then you have a better chance of winning the second trial. You got to look at it long game. When these trials, it's not just about the fight you have in front of you right now. It's like, you have to have plan B, C, D. If you're good at what you're doing up there, you know the possibilities. So you got to always set the foundation for plan, B, C, D, all the way up to Z, if you're smart.
Evidence, which is the graphic nature. We agree that the media plays an important role in the court process. And we appreciate in their briefing the measures that they identify to address some of our concerns for protecting
Yes, we do.
vulnerable witnesses or evidence which is of a graphic nature that they've done in previous cases. However, our contention is that the safest way and best way to address all of these concerns is to prohibit cameras in the courtroom, or in the alternative, prohibit cameras when sensitive or vulnerable witnesses are testifying or there's evidence being viewed that's of a graphic nature.
Bro, we already do that in so many trials, right? So many trials, if it's like an underage witness or for some reason that person's identity needs to be protected, whatever the case may be, they don't show faces. Like, dude, like, ridiculous. I watched too many trials to be hearing this. This is the worst argument ever.
And I'll stand for questions.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Ms. Olson.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That attorney cracks you up? Shit, man, he's silly, that's for sure.
And I think, legally, we're where we were 3 months ago with respect to what the rule the court has to consider in terms of whether to continue to allow cameras in the courtroom, and that's Idaho Court Administrative Rule 45. And I think, Your Honor, when you read through that rule, it really addresses the concerns that the parties have raised to this court about what the court's discretion is, about what it can, how it can direct cameras, whether to be in the courtroom, all of those things, that it can restrict camera coverage when there is a particularly sensitive witness. And I think, Your Honor, what you saw in the declarations that we submitted, the declaration of Rebecca Boone and the declaration of Grace Long, is that these are journalists who are experienced in covering court cases, and in covering court cases where there are cameras, both video cameras and still cameras, and following the court's admonitions about what can be covered and what.
She seems a little bit more composed, guys. She does. She seems a little bit more composed. And heavy metal rehab. Okay. Yes, this case is so messed up, right? It is. It is definitely messed up. I've been following it from the jump. So if you're new here and you would like, I have a playlist, right? You could get what I think. You can go through that playlist and we'll give you the full rundown. You've probably been covering it too from the beginning, but yeah, I don't know. It's a mess. It's a mess for sure. And then after me and my boy Rooster Cakes, we do our panel on this, and he gives you his opinion, bro. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a mess after that.
What can't be done. And I think, particularly, Your Honor, with respect to Ms. Boone's declaration.
Yo, hey, give her a break, man. Give her a break. Being a lawyer is tough work. You know, you don't got that much time for hair care. You know what I mean? Give her a little break. Hey, bro, you and me too. You know, both of us, right? And everybody in chat, all right? I'm sure everybody in the chat feels the same way, all right?
Ms. Boone, who is a graduate of the University of Idaho's journalism program, who continues to be an advisor to that program, and who certainly would have not only the best interests of her employer at heart, but she understands this community. I mean, her experience has been that when you have these cool cameras, both still and video, and when you allow camera coverage to the extent that you can, it better serves the public, and it helps ameliorate the kind of media scrum is probably not the term that my clients would want us to use, but the sort of big gaggle of journalists who accumulate outside of the courtroom when there is no opportunity to be inside the courtroom, when you don't get the opportunity to have that full procedure. So I think the court can use Idaho Court Administrative Rule 45 and craft a solution that continues to allow the journalists who are working hard to cover this case to be able to do so in a way that both allows them to provide really a first-hand account of what's going on. And again, Your Honor, I don't think we can.
Hey, frizzy ends or not, I like her. All right, I like her. You know what? She's a little bit more composed now. Give her a pass on the hair, guys. She's fighting for us. All right, she's fighting for us. You got to give her a pass.
underestimate the importance of that firsthand video account as well, because we're just in this day and age where people are used to seeing things firsthand. There's cameras everywhere. To be able to really have great confidence in the proceedings, I think it is important for the court to allow some sort of in-courtroom camera coverage of the proceedings. People are going to need to be able to see firsthand for themselves how the evidence is presented, how they want to see the rulings that the court makes. They can learn a lot from that in a way that they can't learn from people who then are in the courtroom and they're set up outside. And
she already get wound up again. She get wound up a little bit again. She gets going, man, and she forgets to breathe, and like those words just, my Lord.
And we talk about what happened. And so I think that's a good reason to continue the policy that the court has had. And then I think, Your Honor, with all due respect to Mr. Lawson, I just don't think there are the violations
Good
of
on
the
you.
things
Good
that
on
the
you.
court
Let it
said
slide.
at the outset of the June 27th hearing. I was not here. I read about it in the attachment that Mr. Lawson made to his initial, or the reference Mr. Lawson made to his initial pleading in this round. And my reading of that, Your Honor, is actually in a Fox News story, is that the court said, and of course the court said it, so I'm sure the court's memory of it is the best, but that the court made a comment that the court should, of course I'm having a hard time.
Back up. That's what I said. That's one of the things I said.
Yeah, okay.
It was just focusing
Right.
too much in particular areas, and so I was just cautioning the media to step back, and they have pushed the envelope.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Okay. Well, Your Honor, I think that what the media heard on that occasion, as reported by Fox News, was that the cameras needed to show a wide shot of the courtroom and not focus strictly on Mr. Kohberger. And I think that phrase focus strictly on Mr. Kohberger has clearly been interpreted to mean you can still take pictures of Mr. Kohberger, but he's not the only one.
Yo, check it out, guys. This too. This judge, I hope this judge isn't taking like all the other media stuff that's happened to this point. The media in the courtroom and how the media outside the courtroom acts, they're like, that's two different things. So you can't conflate the two. So if they're coming in, they're shooting professional shots. They're not focusing on, paperwork and crotches, and they're just getting that shot from way back. I mean, even if it's from far back and we're not up as close as we're used to, as long as we can see and hear, you know what I mean? So I hope this judge is looking at this purely as, can this be done professionally inside the courtroom and ignore everything that's happened outside of the courtroom? Because to be honest with you, if the actions of media, even the major media, and all the leaks that have happened up to this point, if he takes any of that sourness and it factors into his decision about cameras in the courtroom, we might not get it. I don't like his facial expressions right now. There's something about his body language I don't like, but I hope I'm wrong.
You should be taking pictures of. And there's certainly a limitation in print media or the online stories. I mean, you don't always have video. So what I've seen, and I think that this.
Let me answer this question real quick, guys. Sorry. Heavy Metal Rehab. I'm not just telling you to go watch my playlist on Idaho 4 because I need the watch hours to get to memberships. But also, I think if you watch my the whole thing from start to where we're at right now, you might have a more solid opinion on what you think. I'm just saying. Just check it out. So it's just a selfless plug. Just check it out though.
Examples we provided to the court where there were pictures of lots of different participants in the courtroom, and they're trying to show everybody. And if the direction from the court is instead, look, there can be no single pictures of Mr. Kohberger, the challenge is, and I think even Rule 45 says this, there are some limits on how much the court can tell the editors and everything, because they're not here in the courtroom, and some of those people may still choose to crop out just a little bit of that picture. And Your Honor, I don't think that runs afoul of what the court has in mind. I think that what you've seen is an attempt by the journalists who are here in court to show a wider shot. And then as we wrote in our brief, from that courtroom angle there, I mean, it's I think I said it's not a football field. It's hard to get sort of the full perspective where the camera is sitting right there. If there's a way to to station the camera at the very back of the courtroom, maybe, but those are also the things, like you saw this in Ms. Wong's declaration. The court TV people have a lot of experience working with courts and trying to find the best way to both serve the purpose of having cameras in the courtroom and being able to present to the public the proceedings as they occur, and also not be obtrusive,
Thank you.
not cause noise, not run afoul of the court's admonition to focus in on any particular individual. So they are more than willing to work with the court to do that. They just ask that we continue to be in the courtroom, because I think when we look at the full media coverage, they haven't run afoul of that admonition. There are certainly still individual pictures of Mr. Kohberger, but that will continue to happen regardless, Your Honor.
Well, sure. I mean, in some ways, it kind of misses the point, because it's the sensationalist sort of spectacle that is concerning. And from one of your, the declaration from TV or
Court TV.
Court TV. You know, I looked through, you know, all the cases that they filmed, and you know, some of those you could question whether that was a very dignified way.
Oh, thank you for being here for this discussion today. I appreciate you being here. We love engagement over here, so that's what it's all about. So I appreciate you being here.
To have a trial, and the classic is O.J. Simpson. So they're saying, oh, this is great. This is great work we did, you know, filming this. But if anybody watched any part of that case, it was a circus. So that is one of the concerns. In this particular case, we have a lot of interest, and we have a lot of people that you can't control, that your clients can't control, and they are putting out stuff that is harmful. It's harmful for the case, for this case, for the process to have a dignified trial. That's my worry, and that's my job. So when I have been talking to the media, just like,
Wait up. So some of y'all ain't heard about the crotch shot? What are you talking about? Like what? So either the camera really messed up, or they're speculating that somebody clipped it. Somebody zoomed in and clipped it, from what I'm hearing. But either way, yeah, the cross shot happened.
just kind of
What are you gonna do?
back off a little bit, because I've been very accommodating, and I just start feeling like, can I really trust them to do the right thing? And it's not necessarily the camera people, okay? It's where that film goes and how it is manipulated.
1 second, guys. Give me 1 second.
How people are, commentators, how they talk about it, okay? How they explain it. And a lot of times it is not very accurate. And I don't watch all this stuff, but I've watched enough to see that how disinformation, misinformation is pumped out there, along with the images and with the films. So how do we deal with that? It's not the same.
Right? There's another solution. Set the cameras up, right? Stay just in certain positions where they're covering certain areas of the courtroom, right? Set them up, have them operate remotely. You don't even have the cameraman in there. You can't even mess up and cross shot somebody, right? You know what I mean? No cameraman, no cross shot. Easy. We're set. Problem solved, man. See, we solve problems in this chat,
Now
baby. We
than
solve
it was 10
problems.
years ago with social media, for example. I can't control that. You can't control that. I understand that. I mean, it's going to happen anyway.
No. You're fine. Over here, we chat. We like talking. We keep the talk going. As long as the talk is polite and it's all love over here and respect, we like talk. That's what we do here. We talk. And we joke, have a good time.
All I wish is that everybody had a little more respect for what we're doing here, because it's not entertainment. It's a tragic issue, okay? And that is what is disturbing to me personally.
Your Honor, if I may, I understand all of that completely. I have been in Mr. Thompson's shoes in a very disturbing, heinous murder case with a lot of the pressures that go with that, and dealing with victims and victims' families. And that is a very challenging position to be in. And
Yo, it looked like Kohberger was staring a hole in her head, like just that dude's. Whether you think he did it or not, the dude's creepy, guys. I don't care what you say.
being able to, I think, Your Honor.
Mr. Michigan, good to see you. Hey, Mr. Michigan, you missed the first 2 lives, and Bees was looking for you. I'm just letting you know, Bees was looking for you, bro.
Now, I think that in this media day and age, having cameras in the courtroom so that people can see what the proceedings are all about. And so there's at least a source out there that says, this is what happened. And if there was not that, that makes it much easier for the people who are going to disseminate disinformation, for the talking heads who aren't going to be respectful of the process to do that. Because then there's none of the actual footage from the trial that responsible media outlets and responsible consumers of information and responsible online people will be able to get access to. I think, Your Honor, the answer is not less sunshine, it's more. I don't think we can afford to abandon to whoever the guy on X or Twitter was that cut out a portion of one photograph of Mr. Kohberger and then was glad that he got some call out by Mr. Logsdon in his motion. I don't think we can afford to abandon how this case is portrayed visually to those individuals, Your Honor. And instead, frankly, of having pictures in the court, then you just get all the pictures of people going, in and out of the courthouse. But you're going to have the same content, Your Honor. The way to battle misinformation.
Yeah, I'm with you, Miss Donna. I'm about sick of these officials blaming YouTube. Get it together, man. Do you guys need to adapt to where we're at in the technology we have? Just adapt. You know what I mean? Stop blaming. Jeez.
Information is to provide the accurate information, and the accurate information is what happens inside this courtroom with the cameras positioned in a place that provides the best, most overall perspective of the courtroom. And if there are sensitive witnesses, then the court can give direction and the media will follow that you don't get to film those witnesses. The rule provides you don't get to film the jurors. There are all sorts of sensitivities built into ICAR 45, and the media would ask the court to use those tools rather than saying, we are not going to allow cameras in the courtroom, we're not going to allow video in the courtroom, because then you just don't get that accurate picture that they can portray out there. And Your Honor,
I agree with you. I agree with you. We have some bad apples in the bunch. We can't lie about that. But for the most part, I do. I feel like we usually have a higher code of ethics than major media does. And then a lot of YouTubers that get out there on the ground, boots on the ground, they'll tell you the same thing. Once they get around these major news media people, man, they grimy, man. They tend to be grimy. So YouTubers need more love.
with all due respect to the comments that
I'm
Mr.
not saying that
Lawson
just
made
because I'm a
in his
YouTuber, all right?
reply brief, the members of the media who are in this coalition, who I think are covering.
Can we start a new hashtag? YouTubers Lives Matter. Can we get that rolling, guys? Start it here, right here on this channel. YouTubers Lives Matter. If there's ever been a movement we need to get behind, it's that one right there. Because we be taking too much heat. Look at JLR. Amazing coverage. What do? Blame it on the YouTubers because they can't catch little jungle ninja. I digress. Sorry, guys.
This trial, which I think includes the news editor from the Daily Argonaut from the students at the university. They are here because they think it's an important public service to cover the proceedings in a criminal matter of such importance to the university, to this community, and I think, Your Honor, really to the state of Idaho. And as I recall from my comments when we were here in June, this case has affected people all over the state. There are young people who were students at the university that I know who were affected by what happened. And having some ability to understand the proceedings and to get the closure will be important to them, Your Honor. And I think this court, this court accomplishes much more by allowing the cameras to stay in the courtroom and giving them firm guidance and working with them than it does to send them outside. Where, if you want to see spectacle, I mean, see the 40 cameras set up outside of the courtroom, and every time someone walks out, they sort of get ganged up on. I mean, that's, I think, a spectacle.
I literally just said that you're going to have a bigger spectacle if you're not appeasing the masses are going to gather outside that courtroom every day to take pictures, to get like whatever footage they can. Like she is on point, man. Her argument is valid. Like there's so many more reasons to have the cameras in the courtroom than to not have the cameras in the courtroom. And you can't convince me otherwise. You just can't. You can't.
With respect to the O.J. Simpson trial, which is I think one of the first sort of highly covered ones, I think the point of that one was too, like, look, you can have camera coverage of these cases, and the person.
Real quick before this rolls on past, yes, the dog got the jungle ninja, and I would just like to say, dude, 3 MVPs for the manhunt: JLR, Nick, and the dog. Can we just, if you have a minute later on tonight, just throw a little love out, a little prayer, send a little good vibes out to those 3. They deserve it. And I feel bad for that dog having to bite that nasty dude. They should really get that dog some shots.
It's still possible for them to get acquittal. It's not prejudicial in terms of guilt or innocence to have cameras in the courtroom. But I think everybody learned a lot from that trial. It certainly didn't reflect well on poor Judge Ito. It didn't really reflect very well on the prosecutors. There are things that may have been playing to the camera because of that. But I think we all learned a lot from that, Your Honor. And hopefully, changes can be made about where the cameras can be positioned. And there's part of it's the responsibility of the participants in the courtroom, not to adjust their behavior for the cameras. I don't see Bill Thompson, the Lake Tahoe County prosecutor, years and years and years adjusting his approach, or Mr. Nye, or the others who are working on this, because there are cameras in the courtroom. I know Ms. Nassoff, I don't know these lawyers as well. I know Ms. Nassoff is not going to adjust her performance in the courtroom. She's going to do everything she can for that client, and I trust these lawyers will too, regardless of whether there are cameras in the courtroom. And I think, Your Honor, the public and this community will be best served by having these cameras in the courtroom and making sure that the guidelines that the court wants to put in place are there, and that there's this firm understanding by members of the media that they will follow that. And I just think it's just not true that that the people who we represent and the people who are in this courtroom today are here to make a spectacle of this proceeding. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Olson. So I just I hope I sent out a message to.
Yo, dude, did she not just? She just addressed that like a closing argument. Like that was. I like this lady. I really do like this lady. I know, guys. The hair needs work. The hair does need work, and I'll pass judgment as a guy with long hair. I take care of my hair. She does need work. I can't argue with you guys, but she's arguing for us, so she's good with me.
To the media and everybody else, that please have patience, be respectful, and be decent. That's what I want. So, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yo, like do they really think that the media inside the courtroom is going to act a fool? Do they really think that? Like, I understand that's the judge's worry. I know defense and prosecution have a whole different reasoning for why they don't want him around. But like, does this judge genuinely think that? Like, that's why I'm worried that he's taking all the BS that's happened outside of the court with the media. I'm really worried he's taking all that same energy and applying it to his decision for the cameras being in the courtroom. I'm really worried about that, guys. I am, because it seems like that's what he's doing. And if that's what he's doing, dude, he's going to rule against the cameras. And I don't like this feeling I'm getting. I don't want to be right about this, but that's the vibe I'm getting. I don't know. And I almost feel like he's kicking the decision closer to trial, so that when he decides no, he doesn't have to take the heat for as long, if that makes sense. Because like if he ruled no right now, he's gonna have to take the heat from now till trial, all the way through trial, right? But if he kicks the ball down he just kicks the can down the road, makes the decision closer to the trial, then that's less amount of time that he has to hear a bunch of BS in his ear because he decided to say no to the cameras. That's the vibe I'm getting right now, guys, and I don't like it. I don't like it because I think there's viable options to get him in there and have it done professionally.
Okay, any response to any of that, Mr. Logston? You don't have to.
I guess not really sure where to go with that one, but obviously nobody's talking about throwing the media out of the courtroom or making the case so dark. I wouldn't want that. After all, I think the public definitely plays a very big role in making sure that we all do our jobs right. We're just talking about the images that are coming out of this. Sounds like the court, here's where we're coming from. I don't think I have a whole lot more to add to that. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Redley?
Yo, I think her anxiety and energy nerfed him. I think like he was just like, you know, some people can get messed up by other people's energy. I think she like just energy bombed that dude. Like she kind of energy bombed me too. But like he just seemed like he didn't even want to get animated. He was just like, you know what? I'm whatever. Like that's the feeling I got right now. What?
Okay. Well, thank you all. I think it's a very interesting, really kind of powerful issue that is a benefit and also potentially a harm. And that there's a lot of balancing that will go into this consideration. Of course,
No, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's literally my whole worry right now is that the judge has been dealing with stuff outside of the courtroom. It has to deal with the trial, right? But it's like it's outside of the courtroom technically. So like, are they gonna judge that all that bad energy and all the bad activity outside the courtroom for the inside the courtroom decision? And I feel like those two things are separate. You know what I mean? It's like I just sucked, man. I got a bad feeling about it, guys. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
especially sensitive to the parties of the case. I saw Mr. Thompson kind of smile a little bit about, you know, there were in a lot of these cases where they were sensationalized and heavily
We know. We all joke. We all joke here.
talked about. The defendants were acquitted, and so therefore that proves that they got a fair trial. Well, we want trials to be balanced for both sides, and I don't know if I was reading your mind a little bit about that, Mr. Thompson, but
Yo, Mr. Michigan, dude, like, bro, I swear you read my mind. I was literally about to say, like, that poor lady looks like she doesn't even. She in a whole different like time zone. Like she's out.
it can tilt. It can tilt a case one way or the other. If it's if the media is trying the case in the media, and we don't want that because that's not based on evidence. That's not based on the rules of the court.
And I get that. I get the media's not trying it, right? But it's like once the court's in session, like how is the media going to affect the trial proceedings as long as there's no interruptions in the courtroom? You know what I mean? Like what's said outside of court doesn't even matter because your jurors aren't supposed to see that anyways. So I don't know, guys. I don't know.
And it can get out of control. And I think some of those cases that were cited in the declaration, court TV, personnel, are kind of seeing it one way. And
You got
they
a point, Don.
have a certain job to do. I understand that. But some of those cases, in my opinion, kind of spun out of control. That based on the media and how heavily it was covered. So,
But can somebody explain that to me? Explain to me, like, The only way I feel like the media could sway a trial is if one, the jurors aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? And they're actually consuming media and being swayed one way or another, which isn't supposed to happen. Okay. So that shouldn't be argument. And then it's like the only other people that could be watching and be swayed by it would be the lawyers, right? So it's like, what does that have? Seriously? Like for real? It just, to me, it's all cap. It's cap.
That's
So
my worry.
weak arguments.
I'm gonna figure it out and try to do the right thing for both the public and parties and the rule of law.
All
So
right.
with that, we adjourn. Thank you all.
All right, guys. All right. So, yeah.
I've already said I'm sorry, hundreds of times.
Whoa. We don't need to. I ready to get into all that. That's a whole different channel genre right there. But guys, like seriously, I'm telling you, I have a bad feeling this judge is going to kick the can farther down the road and get closer to the trial and be like, no cameras, just court reporters. They could take notes or they could take your voice recording, but it's not going to be live action. Sorry about your luck, guys. That's what I feel like is going to happen, guys.
I have deferred my decision about.
Okay, we're gonna listen to this one real quick too. It's got a little bit more information about the families and stuff and what they feel. And I want to cover that. All right, what do you guys say in the chat? Are you guys all joking, or is it serious, or is it both? I mean, yeah. I mean, it's probably swayed some people, but not everybody listens to major media. So the only people that they're gonna sway, in my opinion, are people that, I mean, most people nowadays are getting all their information from like social media and all the different platforms. So they do. I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying. But hopefully they don't have as much sway and much pull as what we think they do, or some people think they do. Let's see what else we got down here in chat. Oh, it's like, yo. Yo, that's right, Miss Donna. Let me in there. Let me do it. I promise. I ain't interested in no crotch shots, man. I promise. All right, guys, let's listen. Let's go ahead. Give me ones in chat once I start playing this. Let's listen to this this other clip I pulled up.
I have deferred my decision about cameras.
Let's
One of the
replay
things
some of
that's
what we
going to
just
be
heard.
really important, that is very important, is that the people with the camera and media need to follow the rules.
Bryan Kohberger's lawyers and prosecutors do not want cameras in the courtroom. A media coalition is fighting that request, and now two of the victims' families say they want cameras in court too. Thanks.
All right, before we get into this one, though, guys, do me a favor. Based off of what we just watched in that court hearing, what do you guys think the judge is going to rule? Do you guys think he's going to rule for cameras in the courtroom or no cameras? 1 for cameras, 2 for no cameras. I want to see what you guys think. I'm interested to see if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing in that judge's demeanor and the way he's delivering his argument, you know what I mean, and his concerns. So 1, he's going to say yes to cameras. 2, he's going to say no to cameras. I want to see what you guys took from that press conference. Give you guys a minute real quick. I'm really interested. Like, I want to see what we gleaned from that. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I, 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 I hope we're wrong, but I agree with you. I agree with that. Yo, the West case too, Miss Donna. I didn't even get to get into that. I didn't really even get to get fully into that. But I'm pretty upset about that situation. I need to read more into the article. But I mean, come on already, right? Like, how are they gonna postpone that? It's for all you don't know, they postponed like the next part of the trial. It's the sentencing, right, Miss Donna? Right? For the West trial. It got pushed back. It's like I'm not even happy with the verdict, honestly. I don't know how they even came to the verdict they did. I feel like they should have got more, but I don't know. I'm just ready for them to start serving their sentence already. And I just hope they have really miserable lives, to be honest with you.
Thanks for joining us here on Law and Crime. I'm Anjanette Levy. A hearing today in Bryan Kohberger's case will determine whether cameras are allowed in the courtroom for the remainder of the case. Kohberger's lawyers have asked for a second time that Judge John Judge exclude cameras. Now prosecutors are backing the defense request, but for different reasons. Kohberger has pleaded not guilty to the November 2022 murders of Maddie Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle in Moscow, Idaho. He faces the possibility of the death penalty if convicted. Kohberger's lawyers have accused the media of violating Judge Judge's June order to not focus on Kohberger.
Where we will be filing a motion as to the media in the courtroom, particularly the cameras in the courtroom.
Kohberger's lawyers claim in a motion that the camera focused on Kohberger's fly and that social media users use images from media outlets to produce prejudicial content.
They're going to use clips off of social media. Somebody clipping a picture of his fly, creating a meme, and they're going to literally use that as part of the argument as prejudicial. What the hell is his fly? I can't. Let's keep going. I can't.
They also claim the camera focused on counsel tables, which prohibits them from effectively representing their client. The prosecution is now joining the defense in its request to remove cameras from the courtroom, citing harassment that some witnesses have been subjected to throughout the investigation. A media
You know, I really like that old Santa-looking man. I did, up until he joined freaking defense and wanted to ban cameras. I'm not real happy with him right now.
coalition that includes Law and Crime has filed a motion objecting to the request to remove cameras. Lawyers for the media wrote that the cameras did not focus on Kohberger's fly. Rather, a social media user clipped an image. The Media Coalition's lawyers also noted that while counsel tables were shown in footage, none of the writing on papers could be seen in the images. Just yesterday, the media gained an ally in the fight to keep cameras in the court.
You know what, Mr. Michigan? I haven't seen it either, and nor do I want to. I'm good. I'm good.
Courtroom. The families of Kaylee Gonsalves and Xana Kernodle wrote in a statement, "It is vitally important that this trial be open to the public to view and watch. There is an enormous amount of media coverage about this case, some good, some bad, and with that comes the responsibility of the court to ensure a fair trial. This case is surrounded by secrecy. Everything is either sealed or redacted. The family has not received any discovery on this case or any information about the facts of the case from the state. No one knows anything about the case, which leads to speculation. That speculation is fueled by the secrecy surrounding everything that is filed and every hearing that is closed off to the media and the public." The families.
Yo, man, like, can you imagine, guys? Can you imagine for all you parents in the chat? I'm sure I got quite a few parents in chat, if not everybody in chat, right? Could you imagine you raise this baby up and your baby's in college, man, away at college. I mean, setting herself up to have a beautiful life. And this happens to your baby. And then you get the amount of information these parents have gotten, and then they're talking about, well, yeah, then we're not even going to allow, cameras in the courtroom. So, if you're going to want to know all the information that we haven't been able to tell you, or we've refused to tell you, you're going to have to be able to make the trip to this courtroom every day of the trial. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Like, how the hell is that? Many reasons why there should be cameras in there, besides the fact that just the overall transparency. We needed this so there's less rumor speculations and all that.
Also right that the defense and prosecution's request show a lack of faith in the justice system. Judge had previously voiced support for having cameras in courtrooms, but noted that this case may be different. He had reserved ruling on whether or not he would allow cameras to continue throughout the duration of the case. Kohberger's case is in Idaho, where Lori Vallow Daybell was recently convicted of the murders of her two children, Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow. The judge in that case barred cameras, but allowed audio of the trial to be released at the end of each court day. The prosecution cited that case in its request.
For everybody that followed that, it was a pain in the butt to follow. It was just, I don't know. I didn't like it like that. I want my information now. All right. I need that live stream. Okay. None of this Vallow trial crap. I need it straight up.
But interestingly enough, deferred to the judge the first time that the defense requested that cameras be removed.
Good to see you, man.
Stay with Law and Crime for continuing coverage of the Idaho 4 case and Judge's decision. For Law and Crime, I'm Anjanette Levy.
All right, guys. So that's it. Those were the two videos I wanted to cover. Yeah. I mean, what else is there to say? I really don't think it's going to go our way, guys. I really am having a bad feeling about the cameras. I'm really feeling like it's not going to happen, and it's going to be one of those, we got to wait to hear everything, and we're going to get a second hand, and conspiracy theories are going to run wild. All these months leading up to after he was caught to the trial, all these months we've endured all the crazy conspiracies, the clickbait thumbnails, people just putting out insane content on this. It's going to be 10 times worse if there's not cameras in that trial. There's just not. And then whatever verdict we get at the end, nobody's going to believe, nobody's going to be good with, because they're going to feel like there's so much that they didn't see or hear. Because you're going to trust second, third-hand information on a trial like this, on such a high-profile trial. Forget about it, man. Nobody wants to hear that crap. Man, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I want to cover this trial too, right? But it's like, if we have to hear everything secondhand or regurgitated in some way where we got to question what we're hearing, it's going to make it hard for me to want to even get up here and cover what we're hearing with confidence, because it's kind of how I've made this channel, is kind of, sticking to like the facts. We speculate, but usually it's based off of facts, evidence, the given stuff, no crazy conspiracies. And if I can't get up here and cover that trial and feel confident that I'm giving like everybody, 100% fact, that's going to suck. It's like, basically I'm going to get up here and be like, okay, so this is what we heard second or third hand. Based on that, do y'all want to speculate how things are going in the trial? It's going to suck, guys. It's going to suck. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, I know. We got to stay positive. You're right, Don Michelle. You're right. I have this problem. right? I'm really good at like figuring things out, like before I should. Really, it ruins movies all the time for me. I have an impossible time watching movies and not figuring out the plot. But that judge's body language, the things that he kept bringing up about, warning the media already. I'm like, dude, you're warning the media that's operating outside of the courtroom. That has nothing to do with the media inside the courtroom. So like, okay, well, basically another way to look at this is like, check it out. if the cameras are in there, right, it's going to limit even what the media can run around and say, right? Because we're going to see exactly what's being said. We're going to see here the whole night. So even the major media ain't going to be able to run around and act a fool like they have been, because they're not going to be able to tell us something that ain't true, because we're going to see it. Those cameras aren't in there. That judge thinks that the major media is acting a fool right now. Try running that trial without cameras in there, dude. Every one of those major media outlets is going to have their own spin on this, because they're going to be able to. There's so frustrating, man. I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong. But man, the way that judge was acting, the energy he was carrying, the things that he was saying, look in his face, it just, I don't know, guys. I don't know. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys, man. That's all I have for you guys. Before I wrap this up, though, we'll do a little housekeeping, channel housekeeping. Over in the description, I got all my links updated, all of the links for my socials, everything to get a hold of me, contact me, whatever, the whole night. So those are all updated. So if you guys want to slide over there, link up on Discord, Instagram, any of that, hit me up, let me know. It's a good way if you link up with me, say I'm covering something live, and you have some information that might have broke that you could shoot me and we can cover it. You can help the channel out. Having the socials, having the Discord, that's a good way to give me the information, and then I can share it with everybody. So if you guys can go over and check out all the links, and whichever ones are applicable to you, use them. And other than that, guys, the only other thing I really need help with is I still need quite a few watch hours. Still need quite a few watch hours to get to memberships, so I can set up memberships. And dude, I got some great ideas. Memberships are going to be awesome. So if you guys can help me out with that in any way, if you have any devices you're not using, if you guys could just turn my playlist on, or turn a live on, one of the longer lives, and just let that stuff roll through and help me out on the watch hours, I'd appreciate it greatly. Let me see what you guys are saying in chat real quick. I don't want to miss anything before I get off of here. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. Okay. I agree with that. That's what Miss Donna said. She said that I should go cover it. They should let me go cover it. You know what? Check this out. Even better. Let JLR cover it. They should let JLR cover it, guys. 100%. JLR covers it, dude. I'm calling work, and I'm taking all my vacations off, and I'm streaming it every day if JLR is covering it. We're going to stream it every day. Like, that's what I'm saying. Let JLR. That would be perfect. Perfect. Okay, I got you, Miss Donna. I mean, that's smart. Avoiding it all will. Trust me, Roger Lynn, he could verify for you. It's frustrating. This case is. Me and him have become friends over this case because he's been riding with me since day one, since I started doing the true crime videos. And me and him have had so much back and forth on this case. Like, I think we both got a pretty good idea and a breakdown on it, but it's been frustrating. We have watched so many true crime content creators put out just so much nonsense. So it was smart to stay away from it. It's frustrating. Yes, I have a Discord. Over in the description, the channel description, where all my information is. My Discord's in there, my Instagram, my email, ways to donate if you want to donate to the channel. I know I'm not at membership level yet, but if you want to donate, it's appreciated. So all the links are over there, guys. And if anybody does end up donating to the channel, make sure that you leave a note so I can give appreciation out to anybody that helps the channel out. That's what I'm saying. First hand. We need that first hand, because we've been getting the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth hand information, and we've been trying to paint this picture. Me and Roger have been like on this thing. Like, we both have pretty detailed working theories on it. But yeah, dude, it's like I want to hear. And it's for selfish reasons. I'm not gonna lie. I want to hear the information because I want to see how close I was with my working theory on how it all went down. You know what I mean? Let's see what else you guys are saying. Let's see. I know, Miss Donna. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Thank you, Don Michelle. We need the help. All the help we can get, baby. We grow this community. And this community is turning out to be, and I'm not just saying this because it's my channel. This community is solid, man. I have not had, regardless of how many people show up to the live, I always have the best chat. Like, the best chat. Yesterday, guys, when I got off my last live yesterday, dude, my face hurt so much. You guys had me laughing and smiling so much. My face hurt. It's still a little sore today. Straight up. Oh, I just saw that win. For the watch hours, if that's for the watch hours, man, I still need and I don't know if YouTube's not keeping track of my stuff right, if there's a delay in the way that they keep track of hours, but it's still showing that I need 1,800 watch hours, which is crazy because you guys go to my channel. I have 500 and something videos, right? I'm not saying I have crazy views on all of them, but I got 500 plus videos, plus these lives lately have been running hours in, and I got the view counts are up now, and it just not, I'm not seeing it's not adding up. The math ain't mathing, guys. So if you guys can help me out with that, it'd be huge. My big goal is I would love to get to the 3,000 watch hours that I need by the end of October. I feel like we could do that. I feel like it's possible, especially with me doing lives every day. I really feel like it's possible because I really want to get memberships opening up, guys. I have so many good ideas. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be extra fun because once we have the paywall, then we get to do some lives, some member only lives, and then we can really cut it up then, right? And I could tell some stories that might not be true crime, but we can have fun. It'll be members only content. I'm telling you, it'll be good times. 100%, 100%, man. JLR did awesome. I'm glad he hit the 100K mark, man. He's over. He went over it. He blew through it. So I'm happy for him. You know what, Win? I appreciate that so much. If you could fall asleep to this, I would appreciate it. That would help huge. It really would. Vanessa Boo, you just pull it right up as I'm kind of doing the end of the stream housekeeping, just pandering for, watch hours and likes and subscribes and whatnot. It's good to see you though, man. So, yeah, but before I wrap it up, I'm done with the housekeeping stuff. You know what I mean? I already said the stuff I needed to cover. But is there anything about this case pending trial? Any questions that you guys have that you'd like to pose to the chat, to me and the chat, that we can maybe kick around? Is there anything in this case that baffles you or that you're having a hard time to wrap your mind around? Before I wrap it up, you know what I mean? We got 21 people in here, so figure we could chat a little bit longer before shut her down. That's a good idea. That's a great idea, actually. Great idea. Why it took so long to call the cops? That's a good question. Ooh, I like that. That's a good question. Okay, that's a funny question, but I'm gonna get back to this question. Why did it take so long to call the cops? Now, I've thought about this. Okay. For one, I'm interested, Rogerland, what's your opinion on Wynn's question here? Why it took so long for the cops to show up? Or to call the cops. I apologize. Why did it take so long to call the cops? I'm interested to see what Rogerland thinks on that one. Before I give my opinion, I want to see what he has to say about that one. But Rogerland, I'll tell you right now, that's gonna be a wild episode when we get Rooster up here. Okay, but if you could let me know what you think about this question right there. What are your thoughts on that question? I think it's the answer to it's complex. I don't think it's a simple answer. I don't think it's a simple answer at all. I really don't. I don't think it's, in my opinion, I don't think it falls in the realm of conspiracy though. I think it's more probably something more explainable, like shock. Maybe kids trying to like make sure they're not going to get in trouble. Maybe hiding some stuff. But I don't know. There's a lot of different reasons that could happen that way. There really is. There really is. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, that's about the cameras in the courtroom. That's a good possibility. And see, that's the thing, Wynn. That's the thing is that's why I need the cameras in the courtroom, is because this has been a debated thing, right? This has been one of those things where it like there's it's like why did certain things happen? So like there was calls and this and that made, text made, but it was like what was visually seen before those were made. So it's there's a lot of questions that can only be answered by cameras in the courtroom. That's the problem here, guys. That's the dang problem. Pure speculation. Let's see what Roger said. He's got good speculations though, man. Let's see what you got to say. See, that's a logical speculation though. That's logical. That's like a one of those scientific human biology, you know what I mean? Explainable type situations, right? That makes rational sense. It does. But if you subscribe to some of the conspiracy theories, then it's like, you know what I mean? If you subscribe to some of the conspiracy theories, then you're going to start falling into some of those rabbit holes where maybe they didn't call for a certain amount of time because they had something shady going on. And that's the thing is like, I haven't seen any solid evidence yet for me to believe in the conspiracy theories 100. I've come across some very interesting information that we'll probably hear later on a panel. That's made me really like double think what my opinions are. But yeah, guys, I don't know. We need the damn cameras is what I'm saying though, for sure. Oh wow. Okay. Thanks for sharing that with us, Wynn. Yeah, no, that happens a lot. That happens a lot when people go into shock. When you come out of it and you're in that like fear for your life, fight or fight, I'm like, you're in this weird state of mind. A lot of times, like the first person you're going to call isn't the cops. You're going to call like whoever you go to is, whether it's your mom, your dad, your significant other, your kid, I don't know what, whoever your number one is that you go to, that's who you usually call, right? So that's why That is perfectly put. I'm glad that you said that, because that's one of those factors when I'm looking at it rationally. I'm like, okay, I've heard reports that she's had traumatic issues in the past, like stuff's happened to her. So it's like all of a sudden this happens. And if she was under the influence at the same time, I'm not saying she was, but I'm saying that whole effect could have been compounded, right? The psychological effect and the shock could have been compounded. And that would explain why some calls were made. You know what I mean? So you see what I'm saying, guys? If you really sit around with some people that are really rational, you know what I mean, and have like good heads on their shoulders. And I'm not gonna, not to out Mr. Rogerlin or anything, but I'm gonna tell you right now that he's a very educated man, guys. He's a very educated man. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And yeah, I get people like him and I kick ideas around. And the more I feel like we kick these ideas around and talk about these scenarios, like we could come to like some rational speculations and ideas. And that's what I really want. That's part of what this channel is based upon. Was I started making videos because I didn't like how some content creators were taking things and they were turning them into something just to create content out of it and to get clicks and views. It was driving me insane. So that's part of the reason I started making videos. And when I did, me and Rogerlin click, and then we've been kicking around ideas and speculations for a minute now. So I love this. I love to see what you guys have to say. Let's see what else you guys got up there. No, granted, and I get that, right? But a human being, every human being is different, and shock, what it does to a human being, I'm telling you, it could shut a human being down. It could absolutely shut a human being down. So it's like, let's say she did see everything that we think she saw. She saw the worst of everything, right? Like, let's say, I don't know, she goes into shock. Dude, there's people going into shock that literally go catatonic for an insane amount of time. Like, it's no cap. You can check the medical on this. Like, it's facts. So I don't know. It's, I know a lot of people are having a hard time with that. The call, the way that she reacted, I know that's like a sticking point for a lot of people. And what sucks is like, I see people get stuck on that and literally not progress until like all the other facts in the case and all the other stuff and like putting the picture together. They get stuck on that right there, like literally straight up. But this is great conversation. I love it. This is good. Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying though, is like, it's because it's one of those things that can be scientifically explained, and because every human acts so much differently, you can't say yes, it's possible, or no, it's not possible. There's like no definite way of saying that, it was right or wrong, like that she didn't or didn't. It's crazy. I know this is out of the whole damn case, guys, out of the whole case, I'm talking from the beginning of this man's life that I've researched all the way to where we're at now, where we're dealing with trial stuff, right? It's like, everything's clear to me except for that right there. I'm with you guys. I just feel like it's less sus that it happened. I feel like there's more of a rational reason behind it, but I'm stuck with you guys nonetheless on that. I don't know. And see, that's another thing, Wynn, and as I understand there was two of them there, but we only really know one saw him, right? And we don't really know when the one, the other roommate that was at the very bottom, we don't really know for fact when she saw, or if she saw anything. So it's like, man, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. We have to have cameras in the courts, because all of this one sticking point for me, this is my one sticking point in the whole damn case. My one sticking point is this situation. Everything else is clear to me, but we have to have cameras in there, or else I'm not going to get the damn answers, and I'm going to lose my mind. And so are you guys, because I'm sure, just like me, this is probably most of your guys' one sticking point where it's just like, everything else makes sense. I just can't. This don't make sense to me. We need the cameras. I don't know, man. I don't know what else to say. I know. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But if you have a degree in psychology, then you know too, every human reacts different, right? Every one of them reacts different. So I'm just interested because it's like, okay, guys, let's say something sus was going on. What's it gonna be? Like them hiding like their paraphernalia and their drugs, like because they're under the influence of partying. We know it's a party house. Or do you guys think it was even crazier than that? Like it was something like connected to conspiracy, and like those two girls had something to do with the unalive. Like, where are we at with that? Because like that's where I'm at with it. Is like, okay, if they did do some stuff before they called, and that wasn't on the up and up, to me is like kids getting rid of things that they thought were going to get them in trouble. Like, if that's the case, but that's just my opinion. Just my opinion. No, when we didn't discuss that one. That's actually let's see what else. So, all right, Kate D thinks he acted alone. What do you guys think? Where y'all at? Do you guys think he acted alone? Do you guys think he had an accomplice? I'm sure if you've been watching my videos long enough, you already know my opinion on it. But I want to hear what your thoughts are on it. Let's hope not. Heavy metal rehab. Let's hope not. See that there the man is again with his rational speculations. See that and that makes sense too. That's completely plausible. You want to know if the DNA match was obtained legally or illegally? Well, the process on how they did it is legal or illegal, because I mean, if the DNA was there, it was there, right? Because they found the DNA there before they ever were able to trace back to his apartment or any other source of DNA. So, I mean, the DNA had to be there, but using the genealogy and stuff, the legalities of that, like I get what you're saying there. That we'll see in court, though. Hopefully we see it though. Let's see. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if there was any sus stuff going on that caused the delays, was probably when she came out of being in shock and like, what the hell is going on? What do I do? Made the phone calls to people, got rid of some stuff. That's plausible. I mean, that's completely possible. Amen to that. Kate D, amen to that. I couldn't agree with the statement more. Linessa Boo believes he did it alone. All right, that's the same camp I'm in. And the reason I believe he did it alone, guys, is I strongly believe if there was an accomplice, like I mean, with all the leaks that have happened so far, there's like, come on, man, we'd know about it. In my opinion, we'd know about it. So, okay. Now that's a valid argument, Win. That's a valid argument, but those kids might have been fit, but not to be sexist, they're 3 young ladies. So for a man of Kohberger stature, I don't think that was that hard. And I get the young man was fit, but he was still a young man, and he was still probably under the influence still from the partying. So I don't know. But hey, I don't know. I wasn't there. It's possible. But that's my thoughts on it. Was that I don't think it would have been that hard for him to do that by himself. And I feel like if there was an accomplice, it would have been too hard for both of them to get away with it. Like they caught Kohberger, like they found him. Like Kohberger, if somebody else would have been with Kohberger, he would have gave him up already. Like he would have gave it up already. There's no way there's somebody out there that had something to do with it. In my opinion, he's not going to let them set free if there's somebody else connected, in my opinion. But we'll see. We'll see. Because in court, right, that would have to come out in court. If they have evidence on an accomplice, that'll have to come out in court. Let's see. What else we got in chat? That's part of Don Michelle. That's part of it, man. That's part of it. That's part of what I factored in too. I paid attention to that. I paid attention to you have to, with this case. I'm telling you, with Kohberger, you got to pay attention to everything. It paints such a clear picture of what type of monster we're dealing with. So, Duffy, you think you had help? Okay, girl, we're gonna have to talk. What kind of help? And how is this help hiding? That's my biggest thing. Like, if there was an accomplice, how did the accomplice get away with it, but Kohberger did it? That's what I'm having a hard time with. Okay, I get what you're saying then. I mean, did they go through the database they're allowed to use, or did they upload it as a consumer? Is it okay? I might be wrong, but isn't it legal either way? I think it might be legal either way. I might be wrong. Roger one probably knows, but I think it might be legal either way. But we'll see what they say at the court. Let's see what else we got. Chat. Right? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying right there. Think about it, guys. I mean, think about how many criminals do some in a group. How many trials we watch? People roll on each other all the time. So that's where I'm at. It's like, how is a narcissist going to sit there by himself, locked up, looking at life or possibly death, and he's got an accomplice, and he ain't going to say nothing about the accomplice? That's where I'm having a hard time on human nature alone. And we know this man's a narcissist. I mean, come on, look at his writings, look at his behavior, look at all the reports on him, right? Yeah, this is good conversation, guys. Man, I was about to wrap it up too. This is good. I'm liking it. That's true. It's true. He's going to make defense's job a little bit easier considering the type of knowledge that he does have. Okay, so check it out. When he said that, I literally have heard it before. When that came out, I was sitting there, I was like, yo, he's literally taking the script of previous serial killers. He's done and said things already the previous serial killers have done. That was like one of the first things I deep dived when I got into true crime was documentaries on serial killers, an unhealthy amount. So when that came out, when I heard that came out of his mouth, I was like, yo, he's smart. He is straight up using other previous SK's script to perfection. No, it isn't. No, it isn't legal. Okay. Well, you guys schooled me on that. I don't know. I haven't looked into that aspect of it. So it's like we're talking federally not legal, or is it like state by state not legal, or what's the legalities of it in Idaho? Is what I want to know. Like, we're talking across the board federal, or is it state by state? Because those are hard to keep up with when you're talking about state by state. Like, each state does things a little bit different. If you guys have the answer on that, I would appreciate it, so I know. Okay, Miss Dumpling, let me see what you got to say here. Let me see. Okay, he asked for help on Reddit. His car had zero evidence. And the first thing he asked for when he got arrested was, has anybody else been arrested? You just have a feeling. Okay. Okay, they found no evidence in his car. Okay. So everybody that thinks that he had an accomplice, and some of the parts of your argument right now if you go back and listen to my my working theory on it, on how I think he did it all, I think it might actually answer some of those questions, because I think there's a very good explanation on why there wasn't evidence in the car. But even at that, even like he asked, I don't remember reading that he asked for help in that questionnaire. I think he asked questions, but I don't remember him asking for help on anything. You know what I mean? He could have used the questionnaire to reach out to somebody to ask for help, definitely. But I don't think there was like any evidence that we saw that he'd actually communicated with somebody and like asked for actual help. See, KT, yeah, that's possible. Okay. Only certain databases allow for LA to use those databases for cases. Their members have to accept the ID, and LA can use the database. Okay. No, I mean that's going to be a critical part of this trial. Definitely, the DNA is definitely going to be a critical aspect of it all. So it's going to get down to like whether things are going to be admissible or not. So that is going to be a significant part. Let's see. No evidence in car because he prepped for it. Probably had a jumpsuit, tote box, and pulled jumpsuit off and threw it into tote box and drove off. Yep. I'm with Rogerland on that one. Is I feel like this man, he was already so thorough and everything and so OCD that if he prepped correctly, it would have reduced the amount of DNA in that car massively. I know it doesn't seem like it. Like I know it sounds like there should have been so much blood that it should have been everywhere, but I think you guys would be surprised on you can go into a house and paint a house for 8 hours and wearing the right equipment, and you can walk out that house without any paint on you. Wrap your mind around that. Just wrap your mind around it. Wrap your mind around it, okay? You can. So being prepped properly and having the right gear ready, he could have went in, did that, got in his car without, disrobing basically what Rogerland's saying. I'm just saying, guys, it's a possibility. Don't get stuck on one thing. You know what I mean? To just play with ideas. Hey, Tennessee, sweetheart, good to see you. I just saw you. Sorry about that. I'm up here rambling, 4-wheel driving, doing what I do. Okay, so there you go too. See, everybody's throwing out their opinions and points, and then other people are able to throw out ideas that can kind of make you rethink where you're look. You know what I mean? How you're looking at it. So this is a great conversation going on. Yeah, and see, I mean, I understand that. So from what I understand is it wasn't directly connected to him. Like the DNA wasn't a direct connect to him. It went through genealogy to his father. And then once they were able to get a sample of his, it was, straight up match. That's when they had this is our guy for sure. Pat Gaines, good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see what else you guys got down here. No, I agree with that. Heavy Metal Rehab. I agree with that. This is a massive case. This is. It really is. That's why I'm so critical about those cameras being in there. There's so much that we need to hear firsthand. I'm with you. I agree. Now, you have to remember. You have to go back into his past. Remember, he had a habit. He had a dirty habit. And he had a dirty habit that puts us around some really dirty people, some really dirty street people. So I wouldn't be so quick to judge him as just being book smart. Remember, that lifestyle puts you around very unsavory people, and you will learn some really bad things from those unsavory people. So he might actually have a little bit more street smarts than what everybody's giving him credit for. I kind of figured you'd be right there where Rogerland is because me and you tend to be pretty much on point, Tennessee, and then me and Roger usually tend to have pretty similar viewpoints on things. Yeah, connected to the Father. And that's what I'm saying, Pat Gaines. That's one of the reasons. There's a bunch of different reasons why I don't think he had an accomplice. Why I think he did it by himself. But I mean, that's just one of them. Definitely, it's loose lips sink ships, baby. Anybody that's gonna go to do a high profile crime like that, I think you're at least smart enough to know that having an accomplice is just you're asking to get caught up. I'm not familiar with that person. Are they a content creator, a lawyer? I mean, and that's another thing too, guys. I'll be honest with you, is I haven't listened to a lot of content creators speak on this. I've listened to more of your professionals, your lawyers, and this and that, as far as talking heads goes and their opinions. So you get different viewpoints on this case, because if you go listen to some of the content creators out there, dude, they're gonna have you believe in some crazy stuff. I agree with that too, Tennessee. I agree with that too. I feel like that's part of why he said what he said when he got caught too. He was puppeting and mimicking. Like, I'm telling you guys, if you look at this from start to finish, from like his early years till now, and you like look at the full big picture, it's like no joke. At some point, he started like fashioning himself after certain serial killers. It's there's so many similarities. It's insane. It's not just one. He picked multiple characteristics. So like I said, when he said that when he got caught, is there anybody else? Do you have anybody else in custody? Like, dude, that was he knew he was going to say that the moment he got caught. In my opinion, guys, I could be wrong. Obviously, I can't sit up here and act like I know everything. I'm just saying it's what I've noticed so far. Yeah, I think all the digital footprint, he's pretty much screwed himself. And you guys know, right? His alibi, right? We all know his alibi is right now is he likes to take night drives. He likes to take night drives, right? He was just happened to be in that area at that time taking a night drive. But where they messed up on this alibi is, okay, he likes to take night drives. Well, can you explain why you took the night drive and then decided to drive back to that neighborhood the next morning? Explain that one, buddy. I'm just saying, explain that. You like to take morning drives too? And you just so happen to take your morning and your night drive by the murder scene and, the digital evidence and footprint have you. You guys get what I'm saying? All right, what else you guys got in chat? Definitely. Let's see, Lanessa Boo, what you saying? What you said, drunk? Everybody, I was 30. Damn. That was a shocking experience. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. That's horrible. I did something similar. I definitely did something similar. Let's see. Oh my Lord. Okay, so I had that same issue. Heavy metal rehab. I had the same issue, okay? But what got me is if we heard everything correctly, right? If what information came out is true, it's not just those cell phone towers that he pinged off of, but he actually his devices ended up hitting the Bluetooth devices inside the home. So if that's true, if they have proof of that happening, then that proves that he was right there. So that would do away with the distance issue with the things from the towers. Because I had the same issue. I was like, well, it could have been anywhere, right? Those towers pick up, could have been anywhere. But if that's true, if he really connected the Bluetooth in the home, and there's proof of that, that's a wrap. Digital evidence-wise, that's a wrap. CC Moore, genetic genealogist. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to look her up. I don't know who that is. And if it's somebody that can make me smarter, I'm all for it. Your boy loves to learn. I don't like not knowing things, so I'll check her out. Lindley, good to see you. Sorry, I'm slow. I'm getting through chat, trying to keep up. We got some good conversation going. Yeah, Dublin, honestly, I figured you and most of the ladies would be sleeping for the next 48 hours, to be honest. Maybe get up, take care of the babies, get a little sustenance, and go back to bed. After this manhunt, man, I wouldn't blame you guys if you slept that long. Let's see what else you guys got in here. I'm behind, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not used to y'all rolling the chat this hard. Now I see how Dumpling did. Her chat rolls faster than mine. Now I feel for you, girl. Now it makes sense. He shouldn't said anything. He didn't have to give an alibi, especially if he has no one to validate it. That right there. Okay, so what you just said it creates great conversation, because it's like them coming out with the alibi tells you, right? That tells you defense knows that they're in a position where they actually do need to have an alibi, because prosecution has so much damning circumstantial evidence that they got to come up with an alibi to negate some of that circumstantial evidence, or else he's cooked. So they kind of had to. At this point, they have to know at least enough of what prosecution has to realize, like, yo, we're going to have to make an excuse for some of this stuff, because there's just too much. There's just too much. Circumstantial evidence, if you have enough of it and it paints enough of a picture, that jury's going to be like, well, damn, he did it. So his alibi was still weak as hell, though. It's still weak as hell. Out driving, it doesn't explain all this other stuff. It don't explain, like, yeah, so much it doesn't explain. Let's see, what else you got? What else we got? Oh, 100% win. Night drives are an amazing thing. I'm not talking them down at all. They're a good thing. Country roads, night drives, some good music. You don't beat that. True. Hey, he's smart, but he definitely ain't perfect. I think that was more of the narcissism kicking in, where he just felt like he had things figured out more than he did. And, hubris. That's what it is. No, that's what I'm saying. The Bluetooth hasn't been confirmed. I haven't been able to confirm it either. But where that came from, the source that it came from, I'm more inclined to believe that source was telling the truth. Could be wrong. Like you said, it hasn't been confirmed. But if that ends up being true, right, and that source came from one of the victim's fathers, right? So if that ends up being true, that like totally does away with the cell phone tower, situation, because it's like, okay, the cell phone towers put them in the general area, but if that Bluetooth part is true, it's a wrap. But like I said, yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out. Let's see what else you guys got going on. Yeah, right. You saw it too, Tennessee. He did. He slipped, but that's critical though, because okay, so we haven't, as the public, haven't had it verified. But what I'm saying is, if defense knows prosecution has that. Like, man, they should have made a better alibi. That's all I'm saying. That alibi is weak. Yeah, Steve Gunclaves. I think there's gonna be some. Yeah, Pat Gaines. I agree with you. I think that's pretty much what's. I believe the tech is gonna actually be more damning than the DNA. I feel like the DNA, if you get the right professional in there, right, he could spin enough big ass words around the jury and create doubt. But like, I think most people are technologically savvy enough at this point that if they're hearing that digital evidence that's laid out to them properly, I feel like that'll be way more damning than the DNA is. So I'm with anybody that's on that. I agree with that. Let's see what else. What else we got? Okay, so that's a good point, right? Maybe they left the router open, but here's the thing: is Kohberger's claiming he's never been there. So that's where he messed up as well. Is he could have claimed that if he was smart, he would not only have said, "I do night drives," that explain why I was in that area, but I would have been like, "Yeah, I've been there. I partied there before," right? Because we've seen in videos where that house has had parties going where nobody that was actually living at the home at the moment was there, or at least that's what they're saying. So it's like he could have easily put that in an alibi. Like, I've been to that house. I've partied at that house. That's a known party house. He didn't do that though. They didn't add that to the alibi. So, that's a miss. That's a miss. That's an L. That's an L for them, big time. Let's see what else you guys got. Yo, I appreciate that. I know a lot of people are tired right now. A lot of people ain't really wanting to be out here streaming. So I know all those content creators that are streaming that have people actually showing up and engaging. We appreciate it today. I know everybody got used to that action, man. We don't have that action like that all the time. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check the CC lady out. I don't know about this person, but so many people have added their professional opinions to this case so far. It's hard to keep up with them all. But I'll definitely look into that because, like I said, I like to learn. Pat Gaines, I covered it. I covered that all the way through. I was doing updates every day. I got a playlist on it. Wasn't there? There was a lot of information to be learned in that trial. Thank you, Miss Huntress. Thank you. Appreciate y'all for hitting that like, that subscribe if you're new here, share if you would. Even if I wrap this up, still share it. Let people catch that replay so they can learn about us. And share me out to your communities if you have one. Even if you just share me to your own page, like it helps the algorithm. All the shares, every share matters. And don't forget the slogan today, guys. All 26 of you are in here today, right? The new one for today, since this whole manhunt situation and we took heat, right? It's hashtag YouTubers Lives Matter. We got to get that going, guys. I'm telling you, that needs to be the new movement. We're taking over media, baby. We're taking over. We're kicking the dinosaurs out, and we're taking over. They've been going up lately, and it's because of all the people that are joining the community. Everybody shares me. They like. If it wasn't for all the people that are joining this community, I'm attracting some amazing people. If it wasn't for you guys, this wouldn't be happening. It definitely wouldn't be happening. Because I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what, the algorithm hasn't really liked me that much growing this channel. So all the help is appreciated. It all matters. Right on. Man, anytime I go live, man, everybody that likes to get in deep dive and have really good conversation like this, show up, because this is what it's about for me. I don't like to just sit up here and just like go through a video or read an article and be like, hey guys, I just educated you and entertained you. Which, you know, I'm not knocking anybody that does that, whatever. But me, I love the engagement. I love the conversation, because, I mean, that's what we're here for, right? We're not just here for you guys to watch a video and be like, okay, cool, I learned this and this guy gave this opinion and whatever. But like to have a community to show up at and everybody can talk, give their opinions, kick around ideas. And man, when you come away from chats like this and lives like this, when you feel like you've actually, I don't know, you've learned something, or you've had some type of like, I don't know, positive time. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's what you should be shooting for as a content creator. So if you guys are getting that from this channel, that makes me so happy. You see, and that's another thing too, the apps, right? That was like one of the things I think he used to kind of pinpoint that house, stalk his victims. I think he used tech himself. I think that's why he had his phone on him too. I think there might have been apps on that phone he was using to monitor where they were, to be honest with you guys, because everyone's like, you know, if he's so smart, why did he have his phone with him? Well, if you're using a piece of tech to track people, to track through an app where their locations are, gotta have your phone. Gotta have your phone. What else you guys got in here? Let's see. Yo, man, I almost went to AMPM one day and got some snacks for the road trips we were doing with Nick. I'm not, no cap. I almost went and got a slushie and some chips. For real, for the stream. I did. What else you guys got going on over here? Most definitely. I don't care who you are or what your gender is. If you have something to teach me, I'm down for it. Teach me. Well, the affidavit, it doesn't necessarily match it. It only matches the part at night. His alibi doesn't explain why he was back on the scene the next morning. That's where they screwed up on the alibi. That's like the one little spot where it's like, oh, well, okay, cool, you explained the night trip, but why in the hell were you back there the next morning? You know what I mean? So that to me was like, for the alibi, that was a L. That's so true. That is so true. That is true. That is a true statement. I dealt with a lot of those type of individuals back when I was running the aquatics department. I ran the aquatics department for like 12 years, saltwater, freshwater, all that stuff. So like I was kind of became like the fish guru of our area. And I dealt with so many masters and PhDs, and like it's crazy to have these super smart dudes that could like figure out all this mathematical stuff, but they couldn't figure out biology to save their lives. It was insane. Like I'm sitting there explaining to them, right, breaking it down to them over here, as I feel like it's hobbyist level knowledge, and they couldn't even wrap their mind around it. So it's funny how you could be super smart at one thing and just be totally not proficient in another area. Yeah, there's so many little details to this, man. There's so many details that need to be like really cemented as fact. Like there's so much, and that's why I need the cameras in the courtroom, guys. It just keeps going back to cameras in the courtroom, because with all these little points that we're hung up on, guys, like all these little points where it's like we didn't get verification on certain things to really get a clear idea of what we believe in this case. Like all those little things are only going to be clarified in the court. And if we don't have firsthand view of it, and we have to take that second or third hand, fed story, man, there's going to be so much lost in translation. It's going to be so hard for so many of us to buy the official story at the end. At least that's how I feel, man. It is. It's going to be an injustice if they don't have cameras in there. It's not going to be any good. Oh, 100%. That fact doesn't get lost on me. Like when I'm covering cases in trial, like the back of my head, it's always the victims and the families. Like that's always in the back of my head. So it's like the family wants the cameras. The families want the cameras. So it's like even they want the cameras. And like I was saying earlier, it's like imagine, all the parents in chat, right? You raise your baby all the way to college. They have this beautiful life lined up ahead of them, and this monster does this to them. And this whole time, you can't get any information, right? Like Ellie ain't telling you anything, so you're having to wait to trial to be able to figure out what exactly happened, which is horrible. But then, like, they're telling you, like, oh, we don't want to have cameras in there, so now you're going to be in a position where you're forced to be at the trial every freaking day. Like, not everybody can do that. Like, that's BS. So even just for the family's sake, like, have the cameras there, right? And not just for the immediate family, extended family, like that. The victim's whole entire family, it's not just immediate extended, are going to want to know. They're going to want to know. And then I'm sure the families have factored in too that if the cameras aren't in there, the conspiracy theories in the media are going to go insane, right? And they've already had to deal with so much of that. Like they don't want to deal with more of that. I don't know, guys. It's a lot. It's a lot. Let's see what else you guys saying. I know. So if that is true, and it will give all that data, so we'll have an even better idea when he was super close to the house, close enough to connect, if that ends up being true. Got you. I mean, yeah, no, there's factors. There's factors. What else? What else, guys? Let's see. All right, some more education here. Optum is a private lab funded by philanthropy. He specializes in using DNA that is decades old and the most skilled to create the profile. So basically, what you're saying is that they sent it there. If they're the ones that did it, it's a good. They did it. It's going to be a good job. Like you're going to have confidence in it. That's fraudulent, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. There's so many things I need absolutely verified that I felt like some things were. I feel like some things were verified without, like they beat it around the bush in the paperwork. Like I feel like there's some things that they was said without being said, but like there's so many things that I need verified. The Bluetooth is definitely one of them. And that's different, right? So we're talking Bluetooth and Wi-Fi are two different things, right? So Wi-Fi's got a longer range than Bluetooth. So if there was some type of Bluetooth connection happen, dude, you're going to have to be fairly close. Like, and then depending what the residence is made out of and where that device and the modem or whatever it's connecting to connects, the material in between, like, weakens the strength of the signal. So if that is a Bluetooth, not a Wi-Fi, but a Bluetooth connection that ended up happening somehow, I really don't know how that would happen unless he was in that home. Do I think the defense will have a huge game-changing moment in court? The only big thing I think that they could have in court that would be significant is if they can get the DNA evidence thrown out. If they get the DNA evidence thrown out, I think that'll be their big moment. But I still don't think that that's going to trump all the digital evidence that they have, that we know they have at this point. And like I said, they may have a whole lot more. Because like I was saying, like, man, like there's so many other factors that they have to have evidence on. There's so many things that wasn't in that paperwork that we're going to hear about in the trial. I feel like this will really fill out the questions a lot of people have. But like I said, if we don't have cameras, we get secondhand information, third-hand information from reporters. Are we going to believe it? Are we going to believe it? See what else you guys saying. Oh, KD, I appreciate you being here, ma'am. I appreciate you being here. There's Dumpling with the important message of the day. Right, Dumpling? Our lives matter, man. We matter. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up the chat, guys. I'm really trying. Let's see. Thank you, Lindley. I appreciate that. I'm really, I mean, I feel comfortable in front of the camera. I feel comfortable doing, this is basically what I would do on my pre-records. But now I just get to talk to you guys. It's pretty cool. And I really enjoy doing these lives because when I'm interacting with you guys in chat rooms, on other people's chat rooms, or even when I drop premieres, I have so much more to say. There's so much more I have to say. Like when somebody like, hey, what do you think about this? Like to type it out, it doesn't do it justice. I always have so much more to say. So these lives, getting to engage with you guys, it's where it's at. I really enjoy it. I like it when we get people from multiple backgrounds here. Like the more backgrounds and knowledge we have here, the better. That just adds to the conversation, adds to overall knowledge of the group, and we're able to have educated conversations and figure things out way faster. So, yeah, I love the diversity in here. It's awesome. Thank you, Win. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. I don't know if I'm like super cool, but I try to be a decent person. That real Becky, yeah, my watch hours. That's it. That's all that's keeping me. I'm like I need some watch hours. But not gonna lie, it's like doesn't make sense how many I need, but I need like 1,900 watch hours still. I was telling the group before, I feel like I should have way more than that with how much content I put out, how many views I have overall, but I'm not there yet. You guys are having some good conversations back and forth in chat, though, definitely. So I'm just like picking through. I'm watching your guys' conversation, and then I'm trying to find the questions within the conversations. Yo, that's a good point. That's a good point, Lindley. That's another one of those things to remember. That's definitely one of those things to remember and keeping the bank. The possibility is there, right? Like he's tech smart, guys. He's tech smart. So us thinking like connections with certain items, certain devices, we're used to only being able to connect a certain way. But if you're tech smart, man, there's a lot of tech guys that'll tell you there's ways to backdoor so many different things. You could have a program that helps you automatically connect to certain things. Hackers can do some crazy stuff. People that are savvy with tech can do some insane stuff. It'll blow your mind. Let's see. That's true. That's absolutely a true statement. No matter what, I mean, cameras are not. It's defense and prosecution about to go to absolute war. It's going to be messy. Tempers are going to flare, I'm sure. Okay. I agree. When am I going to have panel guests? Let's see. Man, that's a good question. I've been thinking about that, like how I want to do panels actually. I definitely want to do panels because I feel like we could have these same in-depth conversations, all of us on panels, and it's a really good way for us all to connect, even more so, obviously. Yeah, I'm gonna have to really think on that. I'm definitely gonna do them. I'm just trying to think of how I want to do them. You know what I mean? That's true. But yeah, I think once I figure out how I want to run the panels, like as far as like, I basically what it is I don't want to have panels where people talk over each other, where it's uncivilized, where issues and drama starts popping off. I really don't think we're gonna have that problem with this channel. So far, our chat's been amazing. Our community seems like everybody gets along pretty well. So yeah, I think give me just a little bit longer to get used to doing the lives. And yeah, we'll probably start doing some panels. Let's see. Y'all are having some good debates in chat here. Y'all be friendly in chat. We can all conversate politely. Let's see. So I think in general, like no matter what you think, no matter what your opinions are, I think in general most everybody wants the cameras, right? Everybody wants cameras in there for different reasons, I'm sure, but in general, I think everybody wants them there. I know, Dominic. So that's like I said, that's one of those ones that I really want to know. That's one of the pieces of information I really want to know. That would really help my working theory that I have on the whole thing. I mean, guys, I got a working theory from like the moment he leaves his house. I got a working theory. So does Rogerlin, and I know I've heard his. But like, there's little things I need to know to really iron out my theory on how it went down. Yep. No, I'll tell you, like, there's so much on the paperwork. We learned so much from all the paperwork, but there's so much more. So much more. I'm right there with you. That's like I said. That's the most important thing. Is I want justice for these kids. I want justice for their families. So it's like my approach with true crime is like I want justice. I want people to understand what happened to whatever victims it was. I want people to acknowledge it, but I also, besides the justice, I want like to learn. I want the psychology breakdown. The more cases I watch, the more trials I watch, just the better it makes me at doing these psychological breakdowns and like figuring stuff out. It's just something I personally enjoy. So that's my selfish reason for wanting the cameras. Yeah, the Bluetooth comment was Steve Gunclave's. It was. And that's why if it had came from any other source, I wouldn't have believed it. But it coming from Steve made me more willing to believe that piece of information, even though it's not vetted. like 100% vetted, I guess we could say. Thank you, MCOs. Am I saying that right? MCOs. I'm glad you found it too. I'm glad you found it too. It's a little bit different than some places. It definitely is. I'm a little bit different of a content creator than some are. I like to engage a little bit more than most do. Yeah. Some people like to just entertain and put content out, get the clicks and views, but I like to entertain, educate, and actually engage with y'all. This is like, it's my favorite part of YouTube. Thank you, Don Michelle. I hope so. I hope we can get to that mark. I hope we get to that mark quick, man. I really do. I really, really do. I got so many ideas for it. The member content part, I'm super excited about though. I'm gonna keep doing the channel exactly how I've been doing it. Obviously with the lives, premieres, all that. I'll probably mix it up. I know I went 3 lives today. I'm just kind of addicted to doing the lives right now, but I'll try to mix it up, premieres, lives, and whatnot. But I can't wait to do members only content. That's gonna be fun. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun members only lives. I'm telling you. You guys are having some good back and forth in the chat. I like it. I like it. Yeah, no, MSM is pretty much. I agree with you. Heavy metal, like, yeah, they're an issue. Let's see. No, back row Becky, I'm telling you, YouTube hates me or something. I promise you. Next time I get on that, before the next live, I'll screenshot it and send that to my email so I could pull it up on the screen for you guys. That way you can see it. I'm not joking. The watch hours is legit. That's where it's at. Sorry, guys. I'm behind the chat big time. Let's see. I see y'all throwing some shade on some people in the chat though. We won't be mentioning no names in here. Let's keep it friendly. Yeah. Yo, wild in chat. Yo, dumpling. Yo. I have that same thing, right? That's part of why I haven't paneled for some people, or paneled at all, really, is because I can have disagreements with people where I don't argue with them, but it's like usually when I explain like my position or like my view on it or whatever, my speculations, sometimes I do it in a way that like frustrates people because I don't know, man. It's like I find that some people, like, if your argument's sound and it debunks what their opinion is, they can't emotionally accept it. It's like they get upset. They don't know how to actually debate without getting emotional. So, I mean, I feel you on that. That's why I don't really do a little political debate, is because of that. Like, people get emotional. They want to argue. Like, they actually want to argue. Yeah, no, you guys are. I see your comments about the panels and stuff in the chat. And like those are some of the reasons I haven't paneled yet, is because I really want to get together exact format of how I want to run the panel, because I don't want any of the drama. I don't want panelists coming up thinking that they can run the channel and they can run the panel. And I don't want any of that. I'm avoiding drama the best I can on this channel. I'm 100% want civil conversation. Joking's great, like good, lighthearted stuff. I want love and respect in my community. So the panel's got to be the same way. It's got to be the same way. Let's see. Dang, I am behind on chat so bad. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. Bear with me here. That's true. That was true. That was very true. No, I'll tell you guys, Roger Lynn, man, he's great to have conversations with. Like, if you want to kick around ideas, like, or you catch him making any comments, like in videos, or you catch him on the live, pick that man's brain, man. Ask him what he thinks about things, because he's always got like these really rational breakdowns on stuff that's the way I am, so I appreciate it. He's an amazing conversation. He's always good for a great conversation. Back row Becky, are you talking about memberships? Are there levels? Yes, there's going to be levels. There's going to be levels. There's going to be some interesting differences in the levels too. I got some really cool ideas I don't think anybody else is doing. I don't think any other content creator is actually doing. So I might could be wrong. There might be somebody doing it, but I got some really good ideas for the different tiers on the memberships. They definitely ain't going to be like other people's. That's what I'm saying too. Pat Gaines. Exactly. That's part of like what I love about the whole analyzing people is the body language, the posture, the delivery, the speech, the tone, the mannerisms, everything. You got to have it all. Tennessee sweetheart, I appreciate that so much. I really do. So I know you're one of the ones, because it's been jumping. It's been jumping, little jumps. So you definitely got to be one of those ones that's helping me do it. Thank you. I know, Don Michelle. That's a shame too, because it's like once you can get to the level where you can separate your emotions from like cases and trials, like I find it really critical. Actually, it'll help your mental health. If you're in true crime and you can't separate your emotions to an extent from these cases and trials, at least to have conversations about them. You could still feel however you want to feel about it, but like if you can't control your emotions on it, true crime is going to tear you up in time. It's going to freaking jack you up in time, because every one of these cases and trials we cover, you get some type of emotional connection to it at some level, right? So if you have those emotions constantly riding with you and you take those into debate, it's not a good thing. It's not. You got to come into a debate completely void of the emotional and just be rational and be factual. That's the best way to do it. For people that can't do that, I don't know if true crime is the place to be long term. I think true crime long term, for people that can't emotionally separate stuff, it's going to mess you up. Your mental health is going to suffer. I don't think so either, Dumpling. I think it's going to be pretty chill. I think so far I've attracted really chill people, really good hearted people, some funny people for sure. But everybody seems to be pretty respectful in chat. Every chat I've had so far. And then I got amazing mods too, right? So you guys kind of run the show. You guys keep things civil. And yeah, as long as the panel rolls that way, we're going to be good. We'll be good. Back row Becky. You always keep it at 100. You're always keeping it 100, miss. And I hope you appreciate the fact that I dropped that M word that you asked me to drop. And I've been using the other one. Oh, trust me, Dumpling. I definitely get emotional on it. I'm really good at. Unless we talk about babies, we talk about cases with the babies. You guys see, I hold my composure as long as I can, but that shit comes out. Like I can't help it. And I know these kids were some of these babies. I do understand, but you guys know what I meant, right? The little ones, those ones mess me up. I do. I ain't gonna lie. I have to watch how much of those I cover, Yeah, I definitely do. There's you're one of the people that I figure would like Roger Lynn. I think the more you guys get to know him, the more that he expresses opinions on things. Like the dude is smart. The dude is super smart, super rational. You definitely know. You ask him a question, you're not going to get a conspiracy theory. That's for damn sure. He's gonna shoot you straight. That ain't creepy, and that's not creepy, Huntress. Because hey, I'm falling asleep to you and Dumpling. So like, I'm not creepy. I don't think I'm creepy. So it ain't creepy. No, you know what though, back row Becky, there's people that have twice as many subscribers as I do, but like no content. Hey, YouTube's crazy like that, man. Maybe it's just who you know the right person, you hit the right panel, you hang out in the right circle. People come help you out. I don't know what it is. I 100% agree, Lindley. Yeah, I was actually talking about all y'all today at work, right? Because I've been gone from work, so of course, hit break. Everybody's asking, yeah, what happened? I'm like, I give them a quick rundown on the sickness. I'm like, whatever. I was like, but man, this is what I got going on with the YouTube and stuff. Because the guys at work support it. They definitely support it. And I was just going on about the community. I was like, man, dude, all the community that's building up on my channel. It's so many good people. It's so awesome. It's so uplifting. Great conversations. Everybody's funny as hell. It's just a great time. Thank you, Ms. Becky. Yep. Yep. That's why we call them working theories. Because I'll be honest, my first working theory I had after talking to Roger Lynn, it changed a little bit. It got a little bit more defined. He kept me on to things that I was like, how did I miss that? This dude is smart. And see, Don Michelle, that's a super mature stance, and it's a good way to be just with everything in life. It really is. Right on, right on. Man, that's what I love about our community is the creators in our community, right? And our big true crime family group there's so many of us. The creators in the group, we all help each other so much. Like, I don't feel like they have that in the other circles, the other groups out there. It's like they have some hate bonding that happens in some groups. And then there's some other groups, right, where I don't know, like they're decent communities, nothing wrong with it, like similar to ours. But I don't feel like there's another group of like people that have the content creators that work together like we do. I feel like it's such a big difference. It's like I feel like it makes the community so much stronger when like there's this. I don't know. It just feels like it's a big difference. Hunches is going live at 30. Good. Okay, we can rock with that. I didn't even plan on being here this long. I thought I was gonna be on here for an hour. And it's already almost 9 o'clock out here in Cali, so I should probably wrap it up, guys. Man, this turned into an amazing live. Thank you guys for being here. I don't know what else to say, guys. Like I said, I have all the links updated over in my description, the channel description. So all the links for everything. Go over there, check them out if you haven't yet. Link up with me on Instagram, Discord. If you want to send me an email for whatever, maybe a case information, a case request, any of that stuff. And like I said, if you guys can help me out with this watch hours, I'd appreciate it greatly. But that being said, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'll see everybody over at Hunter Season 30. And yeah, guys, it's your boy, the Piscine Predator, aka TPP, baby. Until next video, I'm out, y'all. Much love. Peace.